also, you talked about getting a chance to ride with Bobby and just be around it. The car trips there were insane, and we've told stories. I'm not going to beat everybody up on the horrible trips in Mid-South, but I've told stories about we would be broke down on the side of the road, or with the night we rode to the back of the Baton Rouge Centraplex in a chicken truck with feathers coming off of us. I've told those stories. But just riding with Bobby was better than, and once again, I was lucky because if they had all things been equal, Watts had said, hey, this Jim Cornette, I want to use him as a top manager, and just brought me to his territory and stuck me with two guys I didn't know and that didn't also have a vested interest in this working, then I would have, been back in Memphis or back here at home probably in 6 months. Because like I said, not only did I not know anything, but also if you couldn't have coexisted with people that you needed to work with and ride with in those days in that territory, you were fucked. And a lot of the other guys in those days had habits that I would not have been able to coexist with. So it was lucky, and just being able to, 800 miles in the car with Bobby Eaton, there's been worse things to happen. And we could talk about wrestling from when we were both kids, because he'd been, a fan since he was a kid. Or we knew if you made a joke about somebody looks like so-and-so, we didn't even either one have to Google that, right? But also Bobby would do we've talked about Stan's ribs. Dennis wasn't a big ribber. Dennis liked to laugh. Dennis make jokes. Dennis loved to, knock people. We cut promos on everybody in the world in the car. But he wasn't a ribber. Stan was the guy that would come up with these well thought out, pre-planned and built up ribs. But Bobby just went with the simple stuff. If you had the fucking large gulp from Wendy's and you hadn't finished it yet, and you get out of the car to go in the gas station, take a piss, when you come back, you will find that he has taken the cap and the straw out and tied a knot in the bottom of the straw and put the cap back on. So when you try to take a drink, the top of your head caves in. He always had the gimmicks from the stores, the fake vomit, and the fucking goddamn, what was that? Not the water squirting flower, but he got a water squirting cigarette, and people knew he didn't smoke, right? So he's got it in the locker room, and everybody would come up and say, "Bobby, you smoke?" And he would squirt him with the water squirting cigarette. But it was just, it was fun. It was fun, and it kept you from going insane. And then Bobby was just funny to be around. I gotta read you this. We've told you the story about Bobby's weak stomach, right?
Of course.
You've heard some of these.
Yeah.
Well, somebody tweeted this, and this is from Arn Anderson. And it's actually, I think it's in a magazine, probably the WCW magazines. I don't know how long ago this was, but it was a tweet out of a column of that magazine. Anyway, Bobby Eaton and I used to play this game called Burp and Blow, which I'm sure every egghead in the business has done. You burp and then blow on your buddy. You know what I'm talking about. And then One Sunday we were on Interstate 70 in Missouri. It was pouring rain. I was driving and Bobby was sitting in the passenger seat. He leaned over to burp and blow. Bobby, being a drinking man, didn't anticipate that when he burped, he would throw up. But sure enough, he did, all over my chest. Now, I realize I'm doing 70 miles per hour in a monsoon, and when the funk hit me in the nose, I started puking. And when I started puking, Bobby started puking again. I jerked the car off the road and got out. I jerked my shirt over my head to take it off, which made me even sicker. Then I jerked my pants off. I'm on a major U.S. highway, buck naked, puking all over the road. Bobby was in the same situation out the passenger door. And to top it off, ring announcer Tony Gillum was in the back seat, and he was laughing so hard he pissed in his pants. This is not a unique occurrence, but Bobby usually wasn't the first one to instigate the burp and blow or whatever. But there was, I think I've told this story before, but it's been a long time. Me, Bobby, Stan, and Bubba Rogers are in Memphis one time. And Dundee is there also, and we're at the hotel. We're staying at the Holiday Inn at the airport. So Dundee's got a rental car. He's going to follow us back to the hotel in our car. or not follow us in our car back to the hotel. So there's 2 cars. Dundee's following us is what I'm trying to say. Well, as I recall, it was either cold weather or whatever, but me and Bubba were both sick with colds. And I'm driving, and Bobby's in the front seat, and Stan and Bubba are in the back seat. And I start coughing and get choked with phlegm, right? And you hear, when you hear the phlegm noise, because Bobby had such a weak stomach, you could actually show him a booger and he would just start throwing up. Just show it on the end of your finger. Hey, Bobby, here's a booger. So I start coughing and I'm phlegmy, and it's causing Bobby to start doing that like that. And Corn, when Bubba sees that Bobby is getting sick because he hears my phlegm, Bubba starts laughing, which causes, because he's sick, starts him to get phlegmy, and he starts coughing. Now me and now I'm laughing, which is making me cough more. Bubba and I are both phlegm coughing and laughing at the same time, and Bobby's getting sicker. Now Stan is starting to fucking laugh, and he doesn't even really need to puke. He's just laughing so hard he can't fucking control himself, and he's afraid he might shit himself. And so Bobby's, Corny, pull over. I pull over on the side of the road off the interstate. Dundee pulls in behind us, and you see all 4 doors of our car at the same time opens up, and everybody jumps out and starts throwing up on the ground. I guess you had to be there.
There's a reputation Bobby has. You hear guys from WCW.
Wait a minute, I'll tell you one more. Hold on, I'll tell you one more.
Yeah.
We're in Louisiana with Dennis, and the trip back from Little Rock, Arkansas to Alexandria, Louisiana was the worst one in the territory, really, because you left, and I think we were usually there on Sunday nights, but you left the Barton Coliseum in Little Rock at 10 o'clock at night, and you had 275 miles of 2-lane state highway to drive. So it's going to take you 5.5 hours at least. You're not going to get back home till 3:34 in the morning. And in those days, from the Coliseum to get on the highway to go south, there was no fast food places open. This was no 24-hour drive-through. So long story short, we would stop at a gas station on the Arkansas-Louisiana state line that had a counter with barbecue, smoked sausage, barbecue sauce, chicken, fried chicken breasts, goddamn tater wedges, the whole 9 yards, and stock up for dinner. And they also had a liquor store. And one night, since Bobby was driving, I'm in the back seat, Dennis decides he's going to get a bottle of fucking whiskey. Well, by the time he finishes alternating between the bottle of whiskey and the fucking barbecue we got, Barney, you're gassed. So Dennis finishes with his box of barbecue and this sauce that it gave us a big jug of this sauce. And he tried to throw it out the window, and the wind caught it and blew it back in the back seat all over me and all over Bobby's white interior of his car. Right? And it looked like I'd been machine gunned. My brains had been blown out. And of course, we're still it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're still however far from home. Bobby, the next day, by the time that he had let the heat set in on it, had to get in there and clean all that barbecue sauce. He said he made him puke cleaning up the hot barbecue sauce. And another time, we had the Colonel Sanders gravy, and we finished with dunking the old Colonel Sanders nuggets in the gravy. I tried to throw my gravy out so we wouldn't spill it in the car, and the wind blew it back in on the steering wheel. And Bobby had just had Taryn, his second baby. And Stan is, I'm sitting there with the shit in front of me, right? And all over the steering wheel. And Bobby's looking at it, and Stan from the back seat says, "Bobby, that looks like baby shit." He started puking at the KFC gravy because it had been likened to baby shit.